wonderful people, a pleasant afternoon to you. Beautiful people from since last evening. Sorry, I noticed something on the news. Was it the news or online Observer Gleaner, wherever it was? Maybe social media, maybe it was the news. It's a little bit, confusing. But I notice where it says it seems as if there seem to be a demonic spirit lurking and taking up, residence among taxi operators, some taxi operators. I saw one where it says a 70-year-old man, and then a 54-year-old man, and a 44-year-old man. So the ages, and ironically, I'm seeing the age gap. It seemed not to be among the young, the youthful ones, but more, mature sort of men, 44, 54, 40-something, 50-something, 70, sexually assaulting women. I think the 54-year-old one was charged for the beat, so he went behind through the back door to the woman. And I guess the others the regular way. And I realize that these things are happening a lot. It's just that, when it becomes a little bit chronic, then it will ooze out into the main media for us to hear what is really and truly going on. But these things are going on at all spheres, at all levels. I've often or sometimes done videos where I say I don't know what it is to experience that kind of rapacious, devilish, evil act. And I pray I never will. I pray I never will. Because I liken it onto somebody being hung on a tree with a rope around her neck, and it is choking, and she feels that she's about to give up the ghost, but she's not giving it up somehow, but the choking continues and continues, and the discomfort continues and continues. That is how I can only imagine it. I don't know what it is for people who have experienced such diabolical, devilish act of being molested in a sexual manner. And many of these women have had to go silent because who they're going to report it to, the laws of the land, some of them who are a part of the enforcement or laws are guilty of the same act. So they cannot hold the other culpable parties accountable. They cannot. In fact, one of the sad realities with so many is that they have failed to take accountability many, many times. I hear they say that women don't, but oh, I've come across many of them who failed to take accountability. You hear things like, oh, what she was wearing enticed the man. You sure that the man actually did that, or she gave it up to him freely? Now, don't get me wrong. You do have cases where they accuse men falsely. Remember Joseph with Potiphar's wife? It is ironic that it is with a married woman, because sometimes they often want to, crucify single women. And here you have this married woman, and you have Joseph and his boss Potiphar, and say, watch everything, guard, monitor, I'm trusting you. And this is a godly man. And the woman sees that he's godly and righteous and decides that the enemy just come and just take control of her. And she decides to go and pursue this man day and night. And when he realized that, a little temptation coming up. But I am not going to give in to the temptation because I honor God and I respect my boss. My boss has treated me well. So I'm going to employ self-control. And he moved away. He ran, because if he never ran, he probably would have cracked. The woman pursued him day and night, and as a man, it's harder for the man to get. When that lower head starts to talk, it starts to bark. It starts to bark, and once it reached the barking stage, that's it. And he tells himself, you know what, as godly as I am, I'm still human. I better take care of myself. So you have cases like that. I know. I understand. But for many, many situations, these men, because maybe it has happened to them by other men and other women, molestation. What is happening is like a volcano is erupting because they didn't get help. Because remember, these things are demonized, you know, and it is something that is tabooed, and men are afraid to be labeled a particular thing, so they bottle it up. But you cannot bottle up dirt and expect when you open the bottle cork, dirt will not remain in there. The dirt will not go. It will gather dust. It will gather mites. And little insects will start to breed up in it. So it becomes toxic, and then it starts to erupt. And what happens is that when they get older now, the eruption automatically comes because too much toxicity is there. And they unleash on the human race. And they go from man, woman, even beast. Bestiality is still in existence. And even here in this country. Because the mind has become corrupt. The mind has become twisted. The mind has been thwarted and turned into more wicked ways. So the enemy is running rampant and loose, not just with these taxi men, but other men. And you have women too, but we're talking about the taxi men in this case. The devil has taken them over because they are broken men. They are broken men who should have gotten help at a very tender age, and they did not get the help at a very tender age. And now there are menace to the women. There are menace to society. And a woman cannot continue to be going in fear of their lives when they are embarking on in a taxi vehicle, motor vehicle. So my encouragement to the authorities, to the relevant people, to the stakeholders, to whomever it may be, those in authority, the owners of the means of production, the powers that be, the capitalists, to do something, because if you don't, the tears of these women are going to go up to the sovereign God. It's going to go up, because tears are a language that God is. Our tears, it's their languages, or it's a language that God understands carefully, deeply, fully and completely. And he is going to respond to the tears of these women. And those men, including you, the watchmen, who saw these things, know of these things, and did not hold them accountable, the blood is going to also be on your shoulder. So not only will those men be punished by God, you will be punished by God, because you failed to protect a precious commodity, or women. Yes, we are precious. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that our men are not important. But our women are significant. God was carefully thought out and carefully made the woman when he pulled that piece from the man. As much as some of you may say, oh, woman give trouble, and whatever you give woman, she multiplies it. So if she gives you trouble, it meant that you sow that seed of trouble. Don't get me wrong, you have the Jezebels and the Delilahs. And that had to do with bad parenting and curse and sin. Simple. So if you allow if you don't deal with this matter, authorities, God will deal with it. You don't want him to deal with it. I am telling you that. I'm not asking you, because you're not going to like when he deals with it. You're not going to like it. You may not even be able to survive this life, even the lives of your family. So deal with it. Guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. subscribe, give me